How has that relationship with your wife evolved over time? How has she pulled you on the journey? How have you pulled her on the journey? How has that relationship transformed?
Yeah, I mean, the thing you have to understand about my wife and my relationship is when we met, I was 15 and she was 14. And we started dating, and we've been together since. We did long distance for 7 years of college. I was at Stanford playing baseball. She was at Parsons School of Design in New York City. Um, so we have grown together across these very different seasons of our life. And she has been there with me in the mud when I have gone through some tougher times. And there's a strength and a power that gets built through that is um, impossible to define. And I mean, she knows me better than anyone else in the world. Uh, and when I was in that darker place and wanted to make this change, she was the only person in the world that believed in me, even more than I would have believed in myself at that moment. Um, I would be nowhere without her and without that relationship. And I firmly believe that the person that you choose to partner with in life is the single most important decision you will ever make. Um, I'm very, I cannot put into words how grateful I am for her role in this entire journey. Um, and look, I view everything as being I like missions is kind of a broader mental model that I have for life. Like you kind of get to pick a few missions that you have in life, and you have your people that are on those missions, and everyone else don't really have time for. Um, my wife is like very much on this mission with me. This isn't like, hey, you have your thing and then we have our thing. We're on this mission together. And that's an important concept to me because that also means that my son is on this mission and I can explain to him why. As he gets older, he understands the things that I'm working on, why it's important. So that when I travel, it's not just him filling the void, being like, dad doesn't want to be here. It's this is the thing dad works on and it's important. And that's why and he cares about it and it lights him up and he feels connected to it. I always felt connected to my dad's work because he explained what he was working on. It wasn't that I like cared about it a ton, but I felt like I was a part of it. And that's really important because especially during this like magic window of time when your kids are around and they're young and they hold you in such high regard, you want them to feel like they're a part of the mission that you're on. And that is so important for building that relationship in these formative years. And so I'm just very grateful that my wife and I are aligned in all that. We obviously have practices that help us stay aligned on that so that she knows the things I'm excited about and the things I'm working on. I actually share one in the book, in the social wealth section, this idea of having a life dinner. Like once a month, you have a sort of a scheduled date that you do where you walk through these things, like things you're excited about, goals that you have both together and separately, things that you're more concerned about, points of tension, things you need to talk about, not avoiding those hard conversations when you need to have them. And that's been really, really important for us as we've had so much change over the last few years, and as our son has arrived, and we now have like this thing, quote unquote, that exists that we both are so focused on. Um, it's really, really important.
What does life look like for you in 5 years?
I have no idea. That's my favorite part of all of this. I've never been much of a planner. And look, I'll tell you why. 5 years ago, if you had asked me that question, I could have written down 100 scenarios for where I was going to be in 5 years, and not a single one of them would have been right. And so now I think about it, and what I recognize is the most interesting asymmetric opportunities in life are inherently invisible. You can't identify them. They're asymmetric, they're nonlinear. You can't see them. What you have to do is walk, and then they reveal themselves. You take action, and they reveal themselves. The ancient poet Rumi has this line: as you start to walk on the way appears. As you start to walk on the way appears. The answer is found in the action. And so I can't sit here and plan out where I'm going to be in 5 years. I know the general direction that I'm trying to head, but what I need to do is start walking, and I trust that the most incredible opportunities will reveal themselves and I'll be ready to go and pursue them. I need to have the space in my life to be able to go and pursue those things. Um, So I know the general things that I hope I'll be working on. I hope I'll continue to be sharing ideas that positively impact the world. But I can't tell you what the specific versions of that will be.